Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to May I Scraplift You, and we are nearing the end of this series, and I decided to scraplift Crystal at Pineapple Papers as she hosted this series, and I am so grateful to her that she did that. I have had so much fun playing along, and I'm so glad I've been able to play all month, and I am truly inspired by all of the people who I scraplifted, and I'm just so grateful that Crystal put this together. So thank you, Crystal, for doing that. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to play along again in your next series. So I chose this really fun layout that she did. It's kind of on the diagonal, and I really liked the large swatch of pattern paper at the top. So I definitely wanted to use that. So I'm going to use that green, kind of tealy green star paper there. And then I am going to use the back side of the paper I'm cutting there, which is gray with some white stars, but it's a really pale gray, so it's really hard to see. It kind of reads as a solid, but it's definitely not a solid. And that is my favorite thing to do. I don't use a whole lot of solid paper in my scrapbooking unless it's white or black, in case you didn't notice that already. But I do love to use patterns that read as solids, and so that is definitely one of my things, one of the things I enjoy the most. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that down using my ATG. And then I'm using 2 strips of that bluish purple paper, and it's a little bit darker than the blue stars that are on that background paper, but it's okay. I'm not using a ton of it, so it's not super obvious. And I do like how bold it is. I considered using the blue one that is at the top of the screen there, but it has so much white on it that it was kind of detracting from the stars because of the white, as far as using it as the diagonal stripe. Now using it in my background layers or my matting layers, I don't mind that at all. I just didn't want to use it as that stripe because there was so much white. And then you can tell I'm really using my scraps there because that green paper has stuff cut out of it left and right, and I'm still able to use it. And I am going to add a little bit of this blue paper that leans a little towards the purple side. And then I am just going to continue layering things up because I love lots of layers. It's one of my favorite things, and Crystal has a lot of layers underneath her photo. I think her layers might be, or her mats might be a little bit bigger than mine, but that's okay. You know, it's a scrap lift, so it doesn't have to be exact. And then I start going through. I have a bin of like baby boy stuff, or it's actually baby stuff. I've pulled out a lot of the girl stuff and given it to my mom to use on my niece's album for her little girl. So most of this is boy stuff. There are a few things mixed in that are either gender neutral or a couple of girl things that got overlooked. So I'm kind of just fiddling around with where I want things placed. I don't end up using that one that says baby boy, but this circular one that I just pulled out from there, I am going to use that. And I'm using this little tiny bowl as a circle reference, and I'm going to cut that out because I don't want the center of that piece that I'm going to use. You see it just to the left of the photo there. It talks about Little Boy Blue, and I don't want that on my layout. I don't really go with super traditional baby stuff for the most part, so I wasn't really crazy about that. So I just cut that circle to fit right over the center. I still get that blue circular frame, which is what I was really after. I wanted to have some softer lines rather than just all of the hard edges of the squares of the mats and the square of the piece that I'm using at the top of the photo. So I thought that would work out perfectly. Now, as I'm thinking about where I want things, I'm kind of trying to figure out where I want my journaling. I think at this point that I'm going to put it on that circle. That's not what ends up happening. Spoiler alert. And then this piece that I just pulled apart there, the blue part is actually a frame of the wording. And so I cut the bottom part of the blue frame off because it's going to be tucked behind that photo anyway. So it's not like I need the bottom part of the frame there. And I'm going to use the bottom part of the frame at the very bottom of the layout for my third embellishment area. Now I had these rub-ons. Those are from Echo Park. They're super old. Most of the stuff in this bin is super old, so I don't know that you'll be able to find any of it, but I want to get it used up. So that little green piece, I think it just says it's something about a note. on my screen it's super tiny while I'm editing, so I can't actually read it. And I don't have, actually I do have the layout on my phone. I could actually look and tell you exactly what all those things say, if I really think about it. So there's that little piece of the frame there at the bottom. I really like how that looks. And I am die cutting Noah's name, and I am going to use blue foam and this white paper with tiny, tiny, tiny blue hearts on it. And I think that's just like the perfect addition of hearts. I don't want a lot of hearts on this layout because I've already got stars, and I feel like they would compete at this point. Sometimes I don't mind mixing them, but because the whole background has stars, I didn't want to add a lot of hearts. So I'm kind of trying to figure out where I want my title. I think I'm going to put it down in this bottom area. I end up moving it, as you can see there, and that is where it's going to live. Now the title is going to be Peekaboo Noah, because in the photo, he was actually nursing, and you can't see any, there's no details of him nursing. You can't see any shots of things you shouldn't see. But he had been nursing, and he heard me talking across the room, and he picked his head up and looked over, and I said, Peekaboo Noah, and then after that, it always became a game. So I either had to not be in the room, or my daughter had to go in a different room to nurse him when he was little, because if I was in the room, he wanted to play peekaboo. So anyway, that little green piece that says a few notes, I end up just putting eat, sleep, and be cute and repeat on that white circle there, and I'm just using those Echo Park rub-ons, and I really like how those turn out. I don't use rub-ons frequently, but I really liked a couple of the ones in here, so I wanted to use those. The other one that I really liked is the little fox. And so I'm going to use those at the bottom of the page. I guess it's a fox. Maybe it's a wolf. It might be a wolf. I have no idea. But I thought they were cute. So, and they brought in more of the gray, and their tails had the right colors on it. So I thought I would bring those in down below into this bottom cluster. The little green piece at the very, very, very bottom of the page there, it just has numbers 0 through 9. And I will use my pen and circle the 8 because he's about 8 months old in that photo. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to use another rub-on up at the top. And so I end up going with the stork. And I'm going to give you a little tip for your rub-ons. And I didn't do it here because I don't have it with me, but before you start cutting your rub-ons apart, if you just take your tiny attacher or a stapler and staple one of the corners of the sheet, the background sheet will stay with the rub-ons so that they don't get stuck to other ephemera in your bag or in your supplies or whatever. The backing stays with the rub-ons. So if you just use your stapler, staple them together, it works well. Now I'm going to use this yellow star. I'm going to put that in there, and the reason I decided to use that little yellow star is because the text around where it says eat, sleep, be cute, and repeat has little tiny yellow stars around it, and then the stork has yellow legs, a yellow beak, and yellow on his hat. So I'm just bringing in a tiny bit of yellow. I'm not going to add any additional yellow besides those. I do add a piece that says I heart you at the top of that embellishment area above the photos, and that the heart is yellow, and that's pretty much it. I don't add any other yellow details, but I felt like since there was yellow on the text, I wanted to add a little bit of yellow. Now I add those 3 little banner pieces underneath that circle, and I thought that was a great place to use them. They were in the bin, and I thought, you know what, these could definitely be used for something. That little green piece that I just tucked in there says you on it, and so I didn't want to put I heart you with the green piece right below it that said you. So I heart you, you did not make sense to me. So I end up with I heart you at the top, and then the little tiny green circle at the top there says baby, so I heart you baby made sense to me. And then I find this little striped piece that says smile, and that little sticker book that you see off to the left hand lower corner there is from Hobby Lobby, and it's quite old. They may still have it, I don't know. The big box stores don't tend to switch out their supplies or their products as often as some of the smaller stores, so they could still have it. I have no idea. I just add that little green star to the banner piece there, and then when I get home I'm going to add the words Peekaboo. And that is pretty much going to do it for this layout. I'm getting pretty close to the end. I did have to modify 2 of the 3s to make E's because I was all out of E's on 2 sheets of these blue letters. So I just modified the 3s and flipped them upside down to create the right wording. And that is pretty much it. My text or my journaling just talks about the game we were playing, or the game he invented at 8 months old, and that's pretty much all I wanted to document for this. I do add some Rosie Studio stars, puffy stars around the layout just to kind of finish things off, and I add the date down at the bottom. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again, Crystal, for putting this together. I really appreciate it, and I really had a great time playing along all month. And so if you guys have any questions or comments, you can leave those down below, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can, as always. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And if you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. And if you are subscribed, thank you for choosing to spend time with me. And, you know, even if you're not subscribed, thank you for choosing to spend time with me today. I know there's tons of people out there for you guys to watch, and I just really feel honored that you chose my channel, and I'm really appreciative of that. So I will be back again tomorrow with one more video, and so come back and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks again. I'll see you later. Bye bye.